Now I done grew up around some people living their life in bottles. Granddaddy had the golden flask, back though every day in Chicago. Some people like the way it feels, some people want to kill their sorrows.
Me, DeiNomine, and I am here with ImPERium, and we are going to be casting these games from Ace Gaming's NA Tour. And first up, we're going to have Ace Gaming, who is obviously one of the teams from Korea. Very great showing back at Worlds last year, and they're going to be going up against the Jenners from the side of North America.
Yeah, this is really going to be interesting and give us even a small idea of, let's say, the difference between the meta of the two regions, and a bit of an idea of what might happen at the later stages as we go on to maybe a World Championship. But going on right now in terms of the draft situation, we see a first ban coming out of Samuel on the side of Ace Gaming, then followed by Flicker, Reza, and then also Kinetic. So nothing in terms of Kensai or Anka, and Anka's being picked up first by Ace.
And I definitely think Anka right now is an absolute power pick. You know, definitely seen in the few chances I've seen players get to pick her, usually very dominating. And Ace being one of the top teams consistently in Korea, I definitely expect to see a lot of aggression coming out of this Anka, and definitely can't wait to see how they capitalize and use her effectively.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to see what kind of build that's going to come out, because from any Anka I've seen so far, DeiNomine, it's been generally at least an Aftershock first item, followed by Broken Myth. We're just looking to get this draft restarted. But the first pick that came out from Jenners was Finn. That's really interesting. Finn is definitely a bit of a stronger hero, a bit of a strong captain right now, DeiNomine. But what I find is a bit of an issue in picking him is if you pick him too early in the draft, he tends to get countered too easily. So picking him up first, I feel, is definitely a risk on the side of Jenners, but we will see how it is played out as the draft is underway. As far as I know, we'll have the same bands and the same first two picks, and we'll see how we get on.
I absolutely agree with you. Picking Finn early can be a little bit on the risky side. One big reason is he's very, very slow, and you kind of have to base the rest of your team around that. Finn also gives the enemy a incredibly easy time where they're able to go through and build up breaking point stacks or build up broken myth stacks, or Dragonfly stacks, and while he's very tanky, it can be equally harmful if you don't play it just right. But it looks like we've got a Churnwalker coming in for the side of Ace.
Yeah, Churnwalker is a really strong captain, but definitely has a very high skill cap, so I think is underutilized, generally speaking, across the board of Beinglory. Being the captain main myself, I find it hard to utilize Churnwalker, but hey, look, that's me. This is Ace. Ace are an Ace team. They're an expert team. I'm sure they've practiced a lot on Churnwalker. Catherine third pickup is a really strong top laner, most likely going to be utilized in that position, and then followed by Jenners of Scarf. And we did gloss over the Tony. Tony is also a really strong pick in a jungle position. It seems like they're hovering over Adagio. Adagio is also a very strong top laner, so we're seeing these very tank-heavy top laners being picked out by both teams so far, looking to maybe build up a Stormcrown, then followed into, at least on the side of Adagio, it's going to be something like a Capacitor play second item, maybe then followed by a Pulse Weave, and definitely a Stormcrown Pulse Weave coming out from, I would imagine, coming out from Catherine.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're definitely going to see the battle of the mages here. Obviously, Celeste going to be the hyper carry for the side of Ace Gaming, with Anka definitely coming in for some of those more assassination style ganks. As you mentioned, Tony, definitely a bit of a powerhouse, specifically in the early portion of the game, unlocking an actual devastating stun very early on, just through his base abilities. So definitely a lot of potential where he can set up some ganks. There's a lot of stun potential between the between the Tony and the Finn. Maybe even lining it up with an Adagio versus Judgment can definitely be pretty potent. But looking over at the other side, we see the Sky and the Celeste, who are going to want to fight from a range, and Anka, who's going to be looking for those squishy targets, trying to get in there, get a quick execution in, and then get out.
Yeah, definitely. I really like that Sky pickup. The reason why is I saw them hovering up between the Ringo and the Sky, and I believe the main reason they picked Sky, other than the fact that Sky is very strong and is able to dive on the back line past the Finn, is because Sky is a bit of a counter to Catherine. So if they had let Sky through the Jenners, that definitely would have negated a lot of strength that had come out from Sweatbox on Ace Gaming. So, you know, really nice overall draft coming out from Ace Gaming. Then looking at the side of Jenners, that last pickup of Vox is definitely going to be able to be utilized well along with the Tony DeiNomine. So they're going to be able to work together, use the Tony stuns along with the kiting ability of Vox just to build up those stacks. And I'm interested to see how this game is played out.
Yeah, well, we're getting into game one here, Ace versus the Jenners. We've obviously gone over the draft, but I think this is a good time just to kind of talk about, obviously, ImPERium play a lot on NA and on EU. What are the rotations early on in those two regions, and how do we see it differentiating right now with the side of Ace?
It does seem, because of the 3.5 difference in the jungle spawns, it tends to be just taking one single lane, and then you essentially jump as a 2 or 3 4-man team into the enemy jungle to try and steal the buff, steal the 2 minions, and then you rotate from there. And the best way of at least countering that is just to go into the enemy jungle, as well as we do see it happening.
Yeah, I got a bit of a skirmish breaking out here. Ace, they found a couple targets down here of Jenners. The Vox very low, has to use that flask. He is not going to make it out alive. They turn their attention onto the Tony. Don't think they're quite going to be able to find that one, though. Quick and strong rotation of 4 coming down from Ace.
Yeah, it was really nice. They noticed straight away that you know, the Jenners had gone to their weapon buff. So when Ace took the CP buff on the side of Jenners, as a 2-man team, they joined the other 2 members of Ace Gaming in their bottom lane area and got the double kill. So really nice execution by Ace Gaming, and nice map vision coming out from them, showing their expertise, showing their dominance. It's going to be an uphill battle for Jenners.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of a gold lead developed for the side of Ace Gaming off the back of that first blood, as well as taking out a pretty decent amount of that jungle rotation. They're sitting up not a ton, you know, definitely some that the Jenners can come back. Sweetbox was trying to get away that buff, unable to get there in time, so will make it out alive though, and that's going to be huge for them. They don't want to give up anything here. They want to keep the aggression up, and they want to keep the side of Jenners pushed, specifically looking at the Vox and the Scarf for their late game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you want to protect the Scarf. You want to make sure that he can build up his couple of items, get that strong level of damage coming out with the Goop and the Spitfire, and then when the Dragon's Breath comes along, once it's not stunned out by the Core Collapse, which if it is, it's going to be fantastic skill shots coming out from Ace Gaming. It will do a lot of damage in these team fights. So time will tell. The late game is going to come to Jenners 100% with.
Looks like Sweetbox down to just a little bit of health off screen there in the top lane. He is going to make it out alive. Got a little bit of poking here from Ace, but it looks like they're trying to get the Jenners Triet here. Oh, huge damage coming down onto Celeste. Lucius looking for some more, just misses the heels of Celeste with that Spitfire. Meanwhile, the fight's turning around the other way. Can the Jenners capitalize on this? One kill does go over to Adagio, a second to Finn, but here comes Ace. The health bars from the side of the Jenners dropping dangerously low. Double kill for Celeste. Sky picks up the third, and Scarf is gonna make it out alive.
Yeah, Scarf makes it out alive, but that's definitely a big loss for Jenners. And in hindsight, I know hindsight is always 20/20. Jenners should have just let that go. The reason why is because their comp is late game. They cannot take early game team fights. The only way they're going to take early game team fights is if they unbelievably catch out Ace Gaming. But with the expertise and the knowledge and the information that Ace Gaming have on the map, you saw how they reacted. They went up instantly and they got the kills. It's only going to put Jenners even more in the back foot in this game if they keep on taking those kind of team fights. It's a buff, of course, and you want to look to secure DeiNomine, but if you're going to lose the team fight and essentially feed the enemy, it's not worthwhile.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. Let's get into the builds a little bit here. I see on the side of the Jenners, they are prioritizing that Crucible. Obviously, we've got one now complete for Finn and Adagio.
Yeah.
I think it's a smart call. You've got the Churn Walker that can set up those big 5-man stuns potentially. And even Catherine, you can essentially silence an entire team if you time it correctly and get the angle down right. So I think that's smart of the Jenners, but where do you think the builds here from the Adagio needs to go after this? We're not used to seeing 2 full supports, and you know, Adagio does typically flex that kind of crystal or weapon carry role pretty easily.
Well, normally it's a Storm Crown, so building Crucible, I get it for this situation. And actually, really nice respect by Jenners coming out. I really feel Capacitor Plate will be the second item needed, either that or Atlas. The reason why is just because of the Sky. You want to make sure that you are not being fed, or you're not really being chunked down too much by the Sky. So even an early game light armor, just to help sustain a little bit more. But we do see a bit of engagement coming out to nominate.
Yeah, a little bit. I did not catch who the crystal buff went to. It actually looks like it was the Celeste able to pick that one up. Tony was looking for the stun, unable to find it. Jenners, they do lose out on their Treant, but they do make it out with their lives. And in fact, the aggression's not done. Can they find a pick here? Huge damage onto Celeste. Not quite able to pick up the kill. We're still pretty early in the game here. We don't have any ults online, at least not for that fight. Doesn't look like Tasa has his on the Anka, but this fight might not be done. Looks like that Treant is going to go over, the Crystal Buff's going to go over to the side of Ace there. The Solar Storm, it does fly out, does land a couple hits, not onto the right targets. Everyone from Jenners is going to make that one out alive. Man, that was quite an extended fight there, ImPERium.
It was a bit of an extended fight, and it showed what both teams can do in the early stage of the game. But I want to give respect to Jenners. They're really rotating nicely. They're not afraid to move around the map as a team. And yes, you know, you could kind of say they need to play a little bit passive. They need to stay in their lanes. But it's nice to see the Adagio risking a little bit of turret damage on the bottom lane to make sure that he can rotate up, secure buff, secure a kill in the mid lane, and help feed that Scarf. So really nice coming out from Jenners. Overall, it's still really passive, which I'm kind of surprised. I expected Ace to be a little bit more aggressive, even in the early stages of the game, but time will tell. DeiNomine, as you do see, Ace Sweetbox is under a lot of damage, under a lot of pressure.
He did get taunted there, did take quite a bit of damage, but Catherine, you know, pretty tanky, especially you know, a little bit later in the game when she's had more time to build up those stacks. Basically free defense going over her. Only 3 stacks right now, but Ace, they are going ahead and they are taking down this Ghostwing here, trying to get its buff. And oh man, Jenners, they found out, but it might be a little too late. That one's gonna go over to Sky. Sky is turning the attention, has found Adagio, but not quite enough to get the kill. Now Tasa is trying to bait Adagio back a little bit. Here comes the rest of Jenners though, and they secure a kill here. The forced cord comes out, but it does get blocked. Tony comes through, but not able to capitalize on that one. Great Crucible blocking out the trespass, but it is going to be Tony's life traded on out for nothing there. 5-2 for the side of Ace Gaming. Now it looks like Jenners, they want to get out of this one.
Yeah, that was really nice coming out by Ace Gaming to secure that Ghostwing. Just they recognized that there was a bit of a 2-man push along with Finn in the top lane, and then they were able to just capitalize by, you know, being aware of what's going on around them. Jenners, I don't think it was really needed that they should have pushed after the Ghostwing. Again, early game, it's not really going to their favor. You're only defeating, but we do see this happening a little bit in the mid lane. DeiNomine.
Yeah, it does look like a little skirmish breaks out off screen. The Adagio is dropped by Sky. Solar Storm comes through, not quite able to pick up the kill onto Scarf. See down there on the Jenners side of that jungle, that's where the Adagio was picked off. Not quite enough focus here from the side of Ace onto the turret. Didn't have quite enough minions to keep that barrier down, but they did get a decent chunk out of there. Just got a little bit more clearing going on at this point. Lucius very low on health on the Scarf, just trying to stand back, clear his wave as much as possible. Janana does take quite a couple hits onto that turret again, though, just chunking it away slowly as the waves come in. Sweetbox is looking to defend that top turret, not going to make it in time. Now it is Jenner's going to be on the run as here comes Ace. Death from above comes down. That is certainly a kill onto Vox. Tony, he's able to make it behind the safety of that first turret. But I don't know if Tony at half health is going to be able to hold off the aggression up here from all three members of Ace. Meanwhile, Jenner's, they take the chance to try to get a counter push going there. Not able to do so against the raw clearing wave power of this Celeste. Oh man, beautiful forced accord. Nothing to come through it from the rest of Jenner's though. Now Ace, they're regrouping here in the mid lane. There's only two members of Jenner's here. They're going to be looking to take this turret down. Adagio does look to be taking that bottom turret, but that's going to be one dead River Troll there. Oh, the Fountain and the Crucible. Keep him alive for just a little bit, but not quite enough. And not enough minions for Ace to push into that second turret, but they're looking for this Adagio.
They are, and that's definitely Kuranoka is going to have to be a little bit careful. I like what he's doing. He knows he's potentially going to lose his life, so he's actually moving Ace Gaming away from the turrets, away from, you know, the forward position of the map. However, Aki is there.
From Tony, stunned out of the Verse of Judgment. Adagio, he's not going to make it out of this one, but it was definitely a brilliant run coming out of him, trying to get the path as long as possible, pace Ace away from any objective, but in the end, it does look like they're going to go ahead and get this Ghost Swing again, leading at 9-2 Ace Gaming right now. They are definitely keeping up the aggression every chance they get, but if you notice their play, they're also playing a little bit cautious when they know they're at risk. You know, we don't see anybody, you know, from the side of Ace diving too far for a kill, getting caught out. It's all very calculated risk versus reward for these guys.
Yeah, of course, because you know, you've got to respect the enemy's damage, however low or big it is. And yes, of course, if you're more likely going to take a team fight, that's great, but you nearly always want to take a team fight with all members of your team standing as the Solar Storm comes out, but doesn't really connect to anybody. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you take a team fight with all your members standing so you can take full advantage of that team fight win. But we do see a top lane engagement coming out from Ace.
Yeah, that is going to be Tony dropped. Meanwhile, Sweetbox looking for the Vox. Camera has flicked on over down here to Finn, and that is going to be a dead Vox. Another 2 kills on the board for Ace. Looks like they might even be going for this Black Claw here. I assume Jenners have to know this is going on. All those huge particle effects. Finn standing right over here, dropping some vision. But can he make the play to save it? Adagio, he is going to get double stunned there, coming from the core collapse and the death from above, as they were able, or not death from above, Surrey Strike landed on him during core collapse. My bad. Oh, so close there, coming from Finn. Not quite able to get the kill. That one is going to go over to the side of Ace, who have a pretty sizable lead right now, and they have that first turret down, so we'll have to see what they can do here. If they can get a kill onto Scarf or onto Vox, that's going to be a huge capitalization. Solar Storm does rip through that Vox, not quite enough to get the kill, as now Ace, they're looking to keep the aggression up. Black Claw still very, very healthy. All 5 members of Ace here looking for more on the objective side. Minions will clear out a turret for the side of Jenners, but is it in time for them to get gold, capitalize off anything? They're all off base. Here comes the silence, does get blocked. Tony is dropped. Vox very low. Finn trying to get out with his life. Might be able to get out. He is going to get out safely, but at the cost of Scarf his life as well. There goes Adagio. There goes Vox. And that's Ace Gaming with game number 1, 16-2. ImPERium, what do you think about that one?
Wow, just the early stages, you know, Ace Gaming kind of, other than getting those couple of kills, they kind of tended to play, you know, like any other well-formed team, nothing amazing, but you saw them slowly synergize that a little bit more. They started rotating more as a 4-man team, as a 5-man team. Once they got those items, it was really, really well executed by them. And overall, you know, Jenners, full compliments to them on the blocking capabilities. They blocked the trespass, they blocked the Mercy Pursuit numerous times, and they were definitely aggressive in their own way. But it just came to the fact that it was too overwhelming for them. Once the draft really went in the favor of Ace Gaming, with the likes of Sarblade, Breaking Point coming out from Sky, you had the Spell Swords, you had the damage that was coming out. Also, to point out, I really like the fact that the Catherine had Stormcrown and Aftershock, so wasn't afraid to, you know, really put out that damage, because normally top lane, Cath's DeiNomine, they build Pulse Sweep, they build Rook's Decree, they build kind of more defensive tanky items. But Ace Gaming, they had the confidence, they had really the team strength that they could really push out that damage, and Catherine could survive in these team fights. So really well played by them, and, you know, a result that overall I felt was expected in this game.
Yeah, overall, I agree with you. Jenners did great on their mechanics, but in the end, Ace had the better rotations and had the better execution. But that's game one, and it looks like we're getting ready to get into the draft for game two. Obviously, all these games, guys, are pre-recorded, so bear with us a little bit as we get all this together. We are here with the wonderful Suli, who is the captain of Ace. So kudos to him. Thank you for allowing me and ImPERium to cast these games for you guys.
Yeah, it's genuine honor to be in any way involved in this, and also from my point of view, it's great to. I said it during the EPL as well. It's great to see, you know, competition based, you know, action on the rise, because I really think, you know, as we get into the competitive season, DeiNomine, we're going to see a shape in the meta outside of the updates, outside of the balance changes. There's always a difference in the meta when competitive season rolls around. It was the same last year, and it's going to be the same this year. It's just taking, obviously, a little bit longer to get going. But as I said, once it does, we will see a change in the meta. We will see a shift in heroes that are going to be priority banned, priority picked. And I'm really excited to see what is going to happen in this Ace Gaming NA Tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely think it's really cool of the guys to do so. You know, obviously, we've had a delay a little bit in the Beinglory Premier League. So, you know, this is definitely a cool way to start off the season. You know, obviously, we have VPL coming up. But to see some of that international gameplay here early on from some of these teams is definitely going to be huge. I think we have Hammers up next. So that'll definitely be fun to watch and see, you know, where these two teams have come, as well as we have, I believe, Team Ferro and Daria Esports. Is that who we have, ImPERium?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and you know, I definitely think Jenner's last game, you know, coming from them all being challenger players last year, going up against Ace Gaming and displaying such a fantastic level of mechanical skill is definitely huge for them. So excited to see where we get going. Looks like we're getting into the draft here.